and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we always say share our live stream, viewers. So here it is, we're going straight into the news tonight. The Education Ministry has disbursed or had disbursed almost $8 million, $7,848,000 in book grant to 7,848 students as of yesterday. This was disclosed by the Ministry Permanent Secretary Jacqueline Charles. The payer said that the second installments of payment totaling $9,017,000 will be disbursed to 9,017 students. The total disbursement in two installments will be $16,865,000 to support 16,865 students. The final payment of $3.135 million will be made by August 23rd. The $1,000 grant was offered to households with an income of $10,000 or less to assist parents with expense for school's item. It was announced when the 2023-2024 budget was read last year. Finance Minister Clongenbert initially projected that it could cost $65 million to help 65,000 families. However, the figure was actually $20 million. Meanwhile, the Education Ministry has remained tight-lipped about whether repairs will be completed in all schools in time for the upcoming school term. Ministry officials admit that it has been fallen behind, as some facilities meant to be repainted in the last fiscal year were pushed into this new fiscal year. However, the ministry did not disclose whether these schools will be ready for students come September. She said they did not have the $2 billion in funding to repair all schools and are therefore prioritizing schools based on what is the most critical. So listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago. They did not have the $2 billion to repair the schools, but I believe the government wants to spend. I've been hearing talks as much as $4 billion to change the coat of arms, from the 3 ships to the steel pan. It's sad, It's sad. Changing the coat of arms is more important than repairing schools. So I am hearing talks, it's going to cost at least $4 billion. Also, not every document that has the coat of arms will be changed. Now, this is talks I am hearing. This is talks I am hearing. So this pilot project that the government wants to kick off, it's really something. It's really something. So we would like to know now, who are those that is benefiting from this move? Who are going to benefit from this move, Mr. Prime Minister? So if not all documents, the coat of arms will be changing, would we have 2 coat of arms in Trinidad and Tobago? Some with the 3 ships and some with a steel pan? I'm just asking questions. That is what I am asking, questions to the Prime Minister. Would all the coat of arms be changed in Trinidad and Tobago? No. So what exactly are we changing? What documents will be changing? And if not all documents, all the coat of arms on documents will be changing, why do we have 2 coat of arms representing one country? Hence the reason why I asked last night on our Monday night program, is the Prime Minister mentally stable to run Trinidad and Tobago? Some of you might say, oh, Saeed, you mad for saying that, or you're crazy for saying that. But talks is some documents, not all, will have the new coat of arms. So technically, we will have two coat of arms representing Trinidad and Tobago. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? We're taking out a part of history to put an instrument. So are you trying to erase part of Trinidad history? Colonial days? Now, having said that, is the historians in Trinidad and Tobago, are they okay with removing part of Trinidad history? I'm just asking a question. I'm not labeling anybody as yet. Let's see the smart ones from the foolish ones. So you want to use a steel pan? Okay, no problem. So what about the tassa? What about the drums? What about the dantals? What about the dolaks? What about all these items? What about these instruments? Mr. Prime Minister, to you and your colleagues who came up with the idea to take out the ship, take out that part of history and put a steel pan, which is an instrument. What about the tassa? What about the drum? What about the dantal? What about the dolak? What about all these instruments? Are they not part of the culture of the musical instruments like the steel pan? Come Trinidad and Tobago, citizens of our country, open your eye and your ears. They didn't have $2 billion to repair the schools, but apparently it is allegedly costing, birdies singing, that it's going to cost allegedly $4 billion to do over this whole structure. So which is more important, $2 billion for the schools, for proper schooling, or change the coat of arms? Which is more beneficial to Trinidad and Tobago? And changing the coat of arms of who are the people that is going to be responsible? Friends, family, kickbacks, I don't know, well-wishers. Who's inheriting? Last time we did the $100 bill from cotton to plastic, polymer. Stuart Young said nobody can't, what? Stuart Young said nobody cannot counterfeit this $100. Couple of weeks after, we had $100 bills circulated in Trinidad and Tobago, counterfeit. You all remember that? You all remember that? Jog your memory. It's sad, it's really, really sad. So moving along. The Ministry of Health, Terence Dial Singh, is dismissing any claims that there is a shortage of nurse or medical staff to attend to dengue patients. Even as the TNT National Nursing Association president has raised concerns about pressure nurses are under. About the pressure nurses are under. So viewers, you are viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. But remember viewers, we are offering you 4% on fixed deposits. Remember that. And the good thing about it is interest up front. Interest up front. So why wait 10 years to enjoy your interest? You could die within that span. Come open a savings account. Come open a savings account. Come open a fixed deposits account. Come make an investment into Real Talk. Remember that, viewers. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you an upfront interest on your investment. Only us. Only the Real Talk can do that. To benefit who? You, the citizens. Also, viewers, in San Fernando, Real Talk Credit Union has opened its doors in San Fernando to the people of South and Deep South. Contact our office down there, viewers. 242-9944. Set up an appointment. Open an account. Start saving for you, your children, the grandchildren, the grandmother, the grandfather. Open a savings account at Real Talk Credit Union at our Cipero branch. Numbers on screen, viewers. You can contact any one of these numbers also to set up an appointment to open a savings account, to open a fixed deposit account, to make investment. Even if you're having spiritual problems, the numbers on screen, you can also contact that to get in touch with me. So remember, viewers, there's only Real Talk doing it like that. How they say we're doing it? Wet. We are the only one that is giving you interest up front on an investment. Remember that, viewers. Nobody else is doing that in Trinidad and Tobago. Because I, being a director in the company, wants you to enjoy the money that you have worked hard for. Caller, good night.
Saeed, good night.
Go right ahead, my dear.
Saeed, this geologist we have running this country, I wonder if the steel pan discovered Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if they will put that in the history books. Who discovered Trinidad and Tobago? What these children coming up now, will they ever know that Christopher Columbus discovered this country? Secondly, Rowley, mentally unstable. Third, I don't know what Hines was doing in the certificate given out to those little Venezuelan children, 23 of them, out of 2,300, right? Only 23. Good? How nice. So I don't know if their parents vote in PNM next year election. But I want to know what Mr. Hines doing there, because that have nothing to do under the ministry that he is involved in.
Correct.
Why doesn't he mind his business and take care of the citizens in the country? What are the murder rate? 11 weekend gone. 11 human beings were slaughtered. There is where he's supposed to be helping his assistant, because like they bring the assistant for him to rest so he could just gallivant all over. What are you doing in the Ministry of Education? You can't even operate the Ministry of National Security. Go and help the man to help get rid of a crime. Go and let the Commissioner of Police get somebody to do the work too, because she just walking along with Keith Scotland. That is all you see in a woman in a khaki suit, and she just walking, tagging along with Keith Scotland. What is happening? What nonsense going on? Rowley demote this one from AG. From AG, demote him, you know. So why the hell he do demote Hines? What Hines have? Hines holding a secret for Rowley? Demote the blinking man. Let the man go home. If diabetes killing him, let him go home because he's forever sleeping on himself. He is serving no purpose in the ministry. Thank you, Saeed.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, the Anti-National Nursing Association President Stewart claimed that the opening of the new dengue screening centers placed additional demand on staff stationed at the facilities. Last week, the health minister announced that in preparation for an increase in dengue cases, the ministry had commenced a screening center at the Couva multipurpose facility. Stewart said, the association has been receiving reports that staff at certain regional health authorities have been experiencing challenges in managing the number of people coming to be tested for dengue fever. However, Dayal Singh said, while there is currently no staff shortage, adding actions will be taken to mitigate any potential fallout. When contacted, a senior official at the Southwest Regional Health Authority confirmed that as part of the authority's strategies operation, it is satisfied that the appropriate resource allocation have been dispersed throughout the health facility to assist in the managing of the dengue situation. Meanwhile, Saieed noted that as more people came forward to get screened for the mosquito-borne disease, positive cases appeared to be climbing. So viewers, according to the ministry, go to the hospitals, get your tests, make sure you don't have the dengue or the symptoms. Because first time in my life, I have seen dengue fever kill so many people. First time in my life. I swear it's COVID again all over, you know. I'm telling you, I swear it's COVID all over again. But nevertheless, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear the Ministry of Health gets 8 health service robots from India government after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back to Real Talk viewers. Remember, we at Real Talk, we are offering you 4% on fixed investment, fixed deposit, interest up front viewers. Remember, no financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is giving you that. You are only getting that at Real Talk. Remember that. Real Talk Credit Union, Cipero Street, San Fernando, opened its doors to you, the viewers, in the South region, the Deep South. Remember, call the office or call me 3391670 to find out more information about opening a savings account, buying shares. Remember, viewers, when you plant a seed today, you can reap the benefit of that seed tomorrow, the next day, and onwards. But you can only reap the benefit of a seed plant or a seed that you plant. Remember that. If you ain't planting, you ain't reaping. Always keep that in mind. So as we continue our program tonight, the Ministry of Health has received 8 health service robots from the India government at a cost of US $1 million as part of the ongoing move to digitalize the health sector. These robots would be to help reduce the administrative burden of healthcare workers in the public health sector. Trinidad and Tobago, we got 8 robots. Look at them. 8 robots. And these robots, according to the Ministry of Health, it would reduce the administrative burden on the healthcare workers. I wonder if a fuse blow in one of these robots, what's going to happen? Now, we're not condemning. I'm not condemning anything. It is a mechanical device. That is a mechanical device. Now, what I would like Mr. Terence Yalsing to do is to come tell the public what are the capabilities of these mechanical device that we have. This software engineered robot. This robot will be to help reduce the administrative burden on the healthcare workers in the public health system. What exactly is these 8 robots going to do? What about the time frame of these robots? All this we would like to know. Nothing is wrong with getting a gift value $1 million US to the health sector in Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing is wrong. We are not condemning. All we want is a little more detail on these mechanical devices. Listen to what the minister had to say.
We never know where our technological advances will take us. But today, we are here in Trinidad and Tobago adopting robotics and AI, things that we have been speaking about theoretically, and it is here.
Sometimes you just have to listen and just wonder. Now, the other thing said, they were moving to integrate several components of the public health system. Nothing is wrong with that. Such as pharmacies, laboratories, and PAC system into one paperless system. UTT President Professor Prakash Prasad assured that all sites where the robot would be placed had been visited to assess their suitability and that the Ministry of Health staff had been trained in the programming and the operation of these devices. He said over 30 years of research have been invested in the robot technology, which he described as a win for UTT and the Ministry of Health. So viewers, I am not going to say anything on this as yet. I am going to wait to see the functions of this mechanical device, which we call robots. But keep in mind, we are in Trinidad and Tobago. I want you all to understand that. We are in a third world country. A third world country. We cannot get proper roads. We cannot get proper school. We cannot get proper fire stations. We cannot get proper working police jeep. We cannot get proper boats to patrol the borders. But I am not condemning the robot. But let's just wait and see the outcome of these robots. Let's wait and see if the overworked robots system is going to blow. Trinidad and Tobago, we shall await and see. I am not condemning anything as yet. Remember that. Kudos to the Indian government for supplying 8 mechanical devices to the Ministry of Health valued at $1 million US. Congratulations. But let's just wait and see. Caller, good night.
Good night. Well, let me give you some joke.
Talk to me. Raise volume.
Those robots need intelligent people to use them, eh?
Correct.
Do we have that in Trinidad? Because what
Let's wait and see.
I suspect, and I am advising, they should have gotten 22 robots to replace all those ministers. But let me bring you to some concrete information.
Tell me.
Property tax is on our doorstep. I was fortunate to have my mamu. I took him down to the revenue office in Chugonas. You know nobody want to work with cash, right?
Correct.
Nobody want that because if you're old and they rush you, you're in trouble, they go take all your money because the police are working.
Correct.
One revenue office in Chugonas. It have a big sign. No links. You have to come with cash. So we get all the papers done. We get the thing. We went to Republic Bank, and as soon as the mamu take out the money, we walking out. You know, bandits take somebody money in front of him. So
Wow.
two things: the police are walking, but the security in the bank run down the bandit there.
Okay.
And the digitization of Trinidad has fallen asleep. The Minister of Digitization, a simple thing like that. He and Shortman, the Minister of Finance, cutting. You're going to pay your money. The people lining up outside, pulling out the card because they say it's a cashless society, meaning that you can't get cash. I can understand that.
Correct.
But they want you to use the card and the other thing happening in Shogunas, Africa, the punishment in Shogunas, the bridal bridge. How long they building that? About almost 2 years. And now the Perseverance Bridge. So all the access roads to bypass what they do by Chase Village, they from Super So on. You understand? They have traffic going morning and evening. So they punishing people south of Caroni. Are gone. I'm vexed, but side are gone.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we move on to Kamala. But before we move on to Kamala concerning the coat of arms, we are going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Shogunas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid upfront. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Caroni Savannah Road, Shogunas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar believes that while some of the history behind Christopher Columbus has to be revisited, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley promised to remove his ship from this country's coat of arms needs to be carefully thought out. This is because she believes, if not handled properly, it can ignite racial tension in Trinidad and Tobago. In a statement addressing the plan to remove the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria from the national emblem and replace them with the steel pan, Persad-Bissessar acknowledged that Columbus was wrongfully celebrated for some time. Persad-Bissessar said, erasing history by removing symbols will not improve or change citizen understanding of history, adding that the national true history should be taught in our schools, one that provides the good and the bad of all our historical figures. And this is what I am saying. Are we going to remove history to put an instrument? Are we interfering with the history? Are we going to rewrite the history of Trinidad and Tobago? I asked the historians in Trinidad and Tobago, what are their thoughts on this? What is the history behind the steel pan? What is the history behind the tassa, the dolak, the dantal, the drum? What is the history behind all these instruments? The steel pan is a national instrument. What about the tassa? What about the African drums? What about all these things? So that team that is trying to change the coat of arms and trying to change history, do they understand what they are doing, really? Hence the reason why I ask if they are mentally stable to run Trinidad and Tobago. This is why I asked that question. Because you are interfering in what we call an emblem, something that represents the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Trinidad had a history with the PNM administration. So think about it, Mr. Prime Minister. You and your team, who have all the logics, think about it. They were taught about Christopher Columbus in school and the history of Christopher Columbus. Did they taught steel pan in school? What history does it steel pan have? What about all the other instruments that came down with the Africans, with the Indians, with the Spanish, the Spaniards? What about all their instruments? When I tell you we have some people with book sense and no common sense, trust me, Trinidad and Tobago. Trust me. However, Persad-Bissessar, she said, people are not recognizing the PM's intention to use painful historical events for general election campaign. At least one historian is not in favor of removing Columbus ship from the coat of arms, but if they must go, Dr. Jeremy believes another instrument should be added along with the steel pan. Am I wrong? So my questions tonight to Trinidad and Tobago and the historians in our country who claim you all are historians, we're going to see how good you are now. So my question, should TNT be prioritizing the change of the coat of arms at this time? Should we make that a priority? Now, is the PM trying to rewrite history? Why are some documents are being changed and some not? What is the purpose of the change and who is going to benefit from this move? Those are my questions to the Prime Minister and his team. And also to the historians of Trinidad and Tobago. Let's hear your voice. You all taught history. Are you going to rewrite the history of Trinidad and Tobago? Think about it. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, my friend.
In the coat of arms, they say together we aspire, together we achieve.
Correct.
Hear what? We have a preschool 90% completed at Avocat. And the children have to put over $1,500 to send them to private schools. So I want to know if they will change that also, because in the national anthem, they say for every creed and race, there's an equal place. What about these children? I would like to ask the Prime Minister if he could pick that school so that children will be able to go to school. If the parents have to fork $1,500 each too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend. So Prime Minister Dr. Saieed Ali has removed any chance of a general election taking place this year. There were rumors in political circle that the election was set to be called in November. There will be no election in November. There will be an election in 2025. Well, listen to this.
That guarantees you that the election that they're talking about in November not taking place. And to say that we are doing it because it's an election time. I told you earlier on, the work that I did to get to this point took place in 2023. And January 2024, the committee was appointed. January 2024 is the middle of the term of 20 to 25. Because remember, we lost 21 into 22 with COVID. We were recovering from COVID at the end of that. But we could walk and chew gum at the same time. We dealt with all the other issues in the country. And this is one issue that we didn't leave behind. And therefore, it is nonsense to say that this has anything to do with some political election that is due in November. There will be no election in November. There will be election in 2025.
That is for your ears to listen. The PNM political leader also called on the opposition and other political parties to put difference aside and unite to help chart a brighter way forward for our country through listen to this.
As we embark upon this today, I want to appeal to my parliamentary colleagues all, and all those who have political aspirations. There are times when you've got to come together, and now is one of those times.
So after all these years, you want the opposition and the political parties to put their differences aside, to come together, to have a brighter way forward for the country through constitutional reform. That is what you're asking for. Next year's election. Call a good night.
Very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saeed.
To you, my friend.
I just want the Prime Minister to know that the coat of arms is not his personal property. property.
Correct.
It is the property of the PNM party.
Correct.
The quota farms it belongs to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, not no party group, not the PNM. Now the tree, and this is how he went with their arrogant self. He said in Napa, he said, see them tree boats had to go. This man is very, very crazy. Let me tell you why. These three ships, these three caravels, this expedition was paid for by the King and Queen of Spain. King
Well
Ferdinand
said.
and Queen Isabella.
Well said.
Right? The journey actually took off from Lisbon in Portugal. Genoa in Italy. Right? When they came down to the Caribbean and discovered the New World in 1498, they realized that the port of Spain there, that is a good place to have a port to do business. So hence, the original name was Puerto de España, Port of Spain. So are we going to change the name of Port of Spain too? Right? To change the quota farms, as we all know by now, I know this a long time, it is going to cost an exorbitant amount of money.
Correct.
Because all legal documents, passport, ID card, birth certificate, death certificate, everything that has the quota farm will have to change at a big court. When Massey changed the name to what's from Hilo and Amalgamated and all these companies, when they changed the name to Massey, it cost $500 million just to do that name change all the signs and whatnot. So I would like to recommend, if we are getting rid of all colonial vestiges, the Beetham Estate and the Beetham landfill, that was named after Sir Edward Beetham, a governor in Trinidad and Tobago. So I would like to humbly say, let's rename the Beetham landfill to the Keith Rowley landfill, all the best.
Thank you, my friend. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has removed any chance of a general election taking place this year. Imagine that. Eh? So now, viewers, the PNM also said the Expo success was an indication that the agriculture sector is finally gathering momentum and attracting more young people. He said that 60,000 people attended, while another 40,000 were present on Saturday. Viewers, we hope the agriculture sector gains a boost in Trinidad and Tobago, because we are not hearing anything about agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago. It's like agriculture, like the place is in a back burner. Now keep in mind, viewers, do not get distracted with the PNM and their logic ideas to change the quota farm. Do not get distracted. I am warning you, my fellow viewers. We have a lot more pressing issue in Trinidad and Tobago, such as the crime level, such as the performance of the Commissioner of Police, such as the road, the bridges, the streets light, the highways, the schools, high price of cost of living, property tax, revenue authority coming up. Don't lose focus, my friends. Don't lose focus. I am here night after night after night to tell you the issues we are having in our country. And don't let a fly-by-night speech from any PNM officials or UNC officials get inside your brain. We live with issues facing us every single day. We live with house invasion. We live with murder. We live with the drugs man on the corner. We live with banditry. We live with bad roads. We live with tickets. These are some of the things that is a burning issue in our country presently. So don't get distracted, my friends. Caller, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Go right ahead.
Saeed, let me tell you something, right? That whole speaker where the Prime Minister made there on that platform, let me tell you something. When he said That's always happened no election in November. I know what I remind of. We're not closing on petrol church.
Thank you.
Right? Let me tell you the next thing too. When he jump out himself, and he say that's how he gonna remove the ships on the quota arms. You know what I remind of? The time he jump on the platform and he say he's gonna give $100 million to the defense force to go into these areas and try to mellow down things. Or I don't know what it is going on with $100 million of taxpayers' money that he say he's gonna use to give the defense force. Anybody hear about that money again?
No, we never heard anything again.
So let me try to find out this thing now. I want to find out because it's kind of baffling now. Because I want to know if every time this man go on a platform and he says something, we have to fork out our money from the treasury now to try and help the situation to what this man says. I don't know. That money don't belong to the taxpayers again, but that money belongs to the Prime Minister then. I asked him a question here because you can't be spending money while and squandering taxpayers' dollars and then expect we know to go pull back the treasury with property tax. It don't work like that. The poor man can't afford to take this blow, right? We cannot afford to take this blow. And I think the opposition jump out and say we're going to be over $200 million to make that little small change. So who's going to put that aside? We?
The people of Trinidad and Tobago.
I'm trying to figure this thing out now because it's not really making much sense anymore. It's not making sense. And let me tell you something. The PNM governing this country, although the governance for the PNM people alone, or the government or the other government for everybody in the country, you can't go and say you're doing this and you're doing that and everybody jumping up and clapping. Let me tell you something, so all these people that clapping in that audience, one of these days, when something after one of their family members, I ain't saying what, I just saying something that everybody getting I touch on what going on in this country, you know. All they go say that nobody don't want or they have all the PNM because they're not doing nothing outside. Everything they're doing falling apart by and let me tell you something. When you see we have to go there and face all these government offices, they get passport, they get birth paper, they get license, they get ID card. You know how stressful that will be for the average man?
Yes.
Let me tell you something, guys. You think joke. These people are joke stupid, you know. And if you boost it on that crowd, I have people all over. Or they don't get what comment or they time to come. Or they can't see it, but hear what? Or they don't get it on time to come. Anyway, sir, you enjoy it.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we are in for a short commercial break, but when we come back, the PNM laments no support from UNC on constitutional reform after this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan? Only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So welcome back, viewers. Remember, viewers, we are offering you 4% on fixed deposit interest up front. We are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is doing that presently. No one could come forward and do what we are doing. No one. Why are we doing this? We want you to enjoy the benefit and the fruit of your hard labor. You understand what I'm saying? You take 10 years to save $100,000, you invest it in Real Talk, you get your interest up front, and you enjoy the fruit of your labor. That is the interest on your investment. You don't have to wait 10 years for it. You're getting it up front. Only Real Talk doing that for you. Now, Real Talk has Real Talk Credit Union, a licensed financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago. Remember that also, viewers. So now you can open a savings account. You can buy shares, which later on, shares could be held at the credit union for loan. Yes. Remember, I have been leading the Real Talk group of company for years. We also lend cash for those of you who needs cash and have collateral. You give something, you get something. We trade. Long ago, religions trade, so we trade. You have a vehicle, you have a house, you have land, you need cash borrow. We hold it, you get the cash borrow. Yes. Remember that, viewers. Remember that. Those of you who have a spiritual problem, remember you can contact me also, 3391670. For more information. So as we continue with our program tonight, those of you who have US currency to sell, Saieed, we are buying, the company is buying, we are paying $7.50 to $1 US. Remember that. So you have it in the bank, you want to do a transfer to the company, all well and good, we're doing that too. We're doing that too. So I encourage you, viewers, to invest with Real Talk. Invest in our financial sector and watch us grow. Very soon we're going to have Real Talk Credit Union up the Caribbean. Remember what I'm saying, up the Caribbean. I told you that Real Talk Finance and Investment will be in Guyana, and boom, what happened? I showed you land, I showed you buildings. Remember that. We are doing it. So as we move on tonight, a few minutes left on our program, as hundreds of PNM supporters showed up for the PNM Special Convention to consider the report of the party's Constitutions Review Committee, Chairman Pete Scotland said that more than 800 people were consulted, while more than 125 people submitted oral and writing contributions. He said the review began in January and ended in July, when a report was handed to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Scotland said the committee presented its finding to the party's General Council and Central Executive. He said the committee was also presenting its report to the party convention yesterday as the PNM seeks to implement proposed changes as the government. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley congratulated the committee, maintaining the constitutional reform was essential for the country's future well-being. He said 32 civil society institutions were among the entities that were part of the process. However, Rowley expressed his regret that the opposition United National Congress did not participate in the constitution or the consultation despite its role as a part of the government. Listen to this.
A great satisfaction to me if the opposition leader will change her position and allow her people, since she's not interested in it, allow her people to take part in these proceedings so that the national interest can be served. I am not one of those, and the PNM is not one of those entities that believe that political groupings that are opposed to us are the enemy. They are, in fact, political competitors, and we defeat them by grab. We have no fear of them, but we don't hate them. I have no doubt that there are people in the UNC who can contribute considerably to the national discourse and the national outcome. And it's a tragedy indeed if the leadership that they get is saying that we're not taking part in nothing. That is a tragedy. Because if we genuinely want to represent people, because we got to Parliament under the representation of the People's Act, that's what it's about.
Now, viewers, he hopes that the UNC will eventually engage in the process. The committee examined 16 key areas of the Constitution and made the following recommendation. Number 1, proportional representation for general election, rejected. Fixed data for election, rejected. Referendums, accepted. Making the Caribbean Court of Justice as the final court of appeal, accepted. Increase autonomy for Tobago, accepted. Reformation of the Salary Review Commission, accepted. Reformation of the responsibility of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, accepted. Reformation of the power and role of the President, accepted. Reformation of the appointment of the Commissioner of Police, accepted. The rights to a trial in a reasonable time frame, accepted. Reformation of sexual orientation rights, rejected. Person with disability, accepted. So those were some of the things that were accepted and rejected by the National of Trinidad and Tobago. Some of them. Between the UNC and the PNM, those were some of the things that were accepted and denied. So Trinidad and Tobago, as I say every night, we have come to the end of our program for tonight, but nevertheless, I am glad to be here to educate you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So until another night, I am Saieed Ali. We are saying good night to you and enjoy the rest of your night.